Guillermo said this was his favorite film he's ever directed, and Charlie Day said that's funny because this is the one where you tortured the bleep out of us. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
yeah,
wholeheartedly.
I think we were, guinea pigs, for like, how much can I torture some actors and see what comes out of them. He really went for it. The film definitely has a very tough theme. It's extraordinary what we're looking at, and so for us as actors going through that was, it was pretty hard. It was pretty hard.
Well, you were constantly, it looked like, either soaking wet or in a very claustrophobic ectoskeleton suit.
Yeah, whilst doing an elliptical cross trainer for 14 hours a day for 27 days straight.
In sync with the other actor.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was, he made some physical demands on us, but he was right there with us, He was in a chair, sitting in a chair all day that's not necessarily that comfy of a chair, and he had, 18, 20 cappuccinos a day to drink, so he was putting himself through quite the ordeal, too.
There are rigors of this job, big time.
Yeah.
I want to know why you guys think right now there are so many post-apocalyptic films, so many zombie movies. What does that say about the sentiment in the zeitgeist?
I think there's a strong understanding, collectively in the zeitgeist that we are facing some pretty fundamental problems. I mean, the population's spiraling out of control. We're on the brink of serious problems associated with global warming, and I think that this film is a beautiful allegory for those themes and problems. It's the soul and heart of this film is about some human beings from all over the world coming together and putting their petty differences aside to tackle the collective problem,
For me, in this film, it speaks about humanity's force. We have a force within us. No matter what you do, we may be the weakest sort of, animal creature. Well, not the weakest, but, take us away from any robots and anything. We're pretty small little fellas, and we could be easily crushed. And I think what you can't discount is the human spirit. And I think, my speech about the apocalypse being canceled, that whole drive is about the human spirit. They're at our door, and we're going to tell them to go away, and those robots can't work without us, let's put it that way.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this. You are both very handsome men. Guillermo del Toro is, I have to tell you, kind of a sex symbol amongst the Geek Squad. I cannot tell you how many girls are like, Guillermo del Toro. Why do you think he excites in that way?
He's like I don't know, I don't find him sexy, but you want to hug him every time I see him, he's got a real sort of accessibility to him.
I think talent is sexy, talent and certainly, if you're a filmmaker, the level of imagination that he has, and for, in certain circles, he is like a godlike character. I've been to Comic-Con with him before, and that it's like being, I've never experienced that level of rock stardom, and I've been around very successful people in their own area that they're adored, and that really was the greatest level of that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
If you could drift with anyone, alive or dead, who would you want to drift with?
Bob Marley for me, actually. I just love that guy, man. I love his music and love what he had to say to the world. I drift with him.
What about you?
I'd like to drift with my girlfriend. Maybe I could understand her a little better.